back to bloody OKC and Bado. And no, this is not Lollybog. This is real horror stories this time. And as you can see, I've got buddy Bado here, who's quite famous. You probably know him. He's done the song When the Road Looks Smell Ahead. And what other song have you done? All You Need Is a Friend of Winston. Yeah, he's done songs like that. And basically, what we're going to do today is we're going to react to some scary, bloody animations. Don't forget the bloody, because that's how bloody it's going to be. You watch, fam. You watch me, blood. Alright, here we go, fam. So you do...
You do this, you do that.
Wait, is that the wrong one? Is it the wrong one?
No, it's
No, that's the right one. Yeah. Alright, here we go. We're going to watch the 2 True Horror Stories animated because we want to. Okay, 23 hours ago. Is it going to be crap? Is it going to be good? We'll have to find out.
Yes.
Here we go.
I grew up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. My family moved up there when I was about 6 months old.
Michigan.
I was originally born in a small town called Mount Clemens. It's the same town that Dean Cain from The Adventures of Lewis and Clark was born in. I suppose that's my biggest claim to fame.
Superman.
Michigan is quite a unique state, the way it's positioned on the northern border of the US and the southern border of Canada. Those of us that are born in Michigan usually stay here, and no one ever travels to my neck of the woods. There's no real way to just pass by, and we're landlocked by the Great Lakes, if that makes sense.
The Empire State Building.
With the exception of the large cities, the state is mostly covered by woodlands. I have a few strange experiences living in the Upper Peninsula, but none stranger than the one I'm about to tell.
Gave this to me, fam.
We lived on top of a hill, about a 30-minute drive to the nearest town. Our next-door neighbors were a good 10 miles away. It was quiet.
God, imagine
few,
that.
if any vehicles ever came by the house. I developed a strange fear of vehicles coming up the hill. It seemed like you could hear them for miles. I mean, of course, there were others who lived on our road, but this wasn't a place for outsiders to take shortcuts. We didn't even have names for our roads. They were all designated by numbers. When I got older, I wasn't too excited or afraid when vehicles would pass by. During the day, I knew most of the cars and trucks that our distant neighbors drove. When night came, well, that was a different story. I could see the headlights cutting through my bedroom window and light up my walls like some kind of ominous paint.
Oh no.
It's a hard feeling to describe, but in my young mind, I felt that no one had any business driving down such a remote road at any point after dark. At the time, I was about 13. The year was 1996. Our family, amazingly, had just acquired internet. Anyone that's in their mid to late 30s knows how insane this time was. For whatever reason, at this time, my dad installed a glass sliding door on the wall near where the computer was. The computer used to be the hub of our home at the time, unlike nowadays where every family member has their own computer, plus a billion other gadgets in their pocket. So having the sliding door open up to the scenery of the countryside from the computer desk was actually pretty nice. I appreciated it for about 2 days, before one of the strangest things I've ever seen occurred. I was up late on a Saturday night on the computer, like usual. In those days, I was probably messing around in the Yahoo chat rooms, or maybe playing Myst. Then I heard it. I mostly felt it at first. The low rumbling of a truck engine, creeping slowly down the main road. The truck passed by our house, and then stopped. The long-forgotten fear I mentioned earlier came roaring back like a freight train.
Loads of cars have stopped outside my house.
Nothing good would come from a suspicious truck driving down our road at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Loads away from the neighbor.
What I saw next has burned itself inside my head. I can still recall it as clear as day. The truck screeched to a stop. A man flung open the passenger side door and quickly hustled over to the driver's side. This was all taking place too far away for me to give a really good physical description.
Oh no!
But I could tell the passenger was much larger than the driver.
Person's holding the door.
He wore some kind of puffy vest,
He's not letting them in.
and one of those trucker-style caps.
Captive, no?
He grabbed the driver and dragged him out of the truck, then slammed him against the tailgate. He seemed to be shouting orders at the driver, motioning him to open the tailgate. When he did, I saw the driver turn to the bigger guy, as if he was hesitating out of fear. Even at a distance, I could see this clearly. The driver was unnerved. and
You
his
gotta shove it
partner
in there.
forcefully handed
Well,
him
that
a
way,
shovel.
obviously. PG.
The passenger then pointed to a spot on the
Placing your
side of
wits,
the
you're
road
placing
behind
your
the
ears. How
truck.
weirdly, what the hell?
The panicked driver began to frantically dig where the passenger had pointed to. He dug for about 3 to 4 minutes, paused, then looked at the driver, and the two exchanged some words that I couldn't quite make out.
Burying the body.
The passenger then dragged something out of the bed of the truck.
Oh.
I can only describe it as a closed sleeping bag, with a body still inside. The passenger walked over to the shallow grave and tossed it in.
Dug it
The
up.
two men then made a poor attempt of covering the hole before they sped
Poor
off.
attempt.
You may be asking, well, did you go out and see what they buried?
Well, no.
And the answer is surely what you would expect. Of course I did.
Oh!
And that's the creepiest part of all.
Oh no.
When I went out to the road the next morning, the
Nothing in
hole
there.
was empty.
Oh.
I knew what
jeez.
I saw. There was even the tire tracks
Yeah,
from
the
the
tire
night
tracks.
before.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But whatever they threw into that hole was gone. I looked to the opposite side of the burial
Oh!
and was horrified to see footprints in the dirt
Not even one. There was like
leading
two.
straight into the forest. I had no idea what to make of it. I've repressed this memory for so long and just wanted to pretend that it never happened. Aside from a few close friends, I've never told anyone about this. I believe that bag they threw into the ground had someone in it, and they thought that person was dead. However,
Well, he
based
wasn't.
on what I saw the next morning, they were wrong.
They probably assumed that he was dead.
You can
but he
chalk this
wasn't.
all up to teenage imagination if you like, but I stand by what I say. There are some things in this world that you'll never be able to explain, and even if you could,
Oh!
chances are you wouldn't care much for the answer.
I'm sorry, but that's not scary, is it?
No.
You know, you seriously. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, you'd be scared if someone got buried outside of your house. Do you know what I mean? But if he's going the other way to your house, it's a person. It's not like it's some alien. That's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you were expecting it as well. Some sort of alien.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there was nothing there. It was just some guy that got out of the bag. He wasn't dead, and but he buggered off. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, fam? So I don't get what the
Well,
bloody
rather
thing.
than do that and come in the house. you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. Who was in my house? I
Oh.
say these are the type of videos that I
This
want to see.
happened 7 years ago. I was a freshman
course
in
it's
middle
7.
school at that time, and I was interested in graphics, so I was attending an academy to learn 3D Max.
You're
The
probably
academy
interested in a lot of
lasted
things
4
that
hours
pervert
every
under.
weekend, but anyway, I really didn't want to go that day. The reason was that I just felt bored. So I decided not to attend the academy that day, but I had no money. So I sat at the bus stop playing cell phone games for
I like how
30
the coins
minutes.
say 100 on it. Like,
Feeling bored, I ended up heading in front of my house, praying for my father not to be there. And then I thought of an idea. Maybe I could just ring the doorbell to find out. This is a method of verification that I'm still
Americans
using
are
well.
so stupid. They give me
However, there
permanent brain
was only
damage.
one small problem. I had to hide well so that I wouldn't be caught because my dad shouldn't see me when he came out. It's impossible to run and hide because the hallway is wide. Fortunately, my house is on the first floor, so I could jump over to the parking lot right in front of me to hide. Anyway, I pressed the doorbell after
Oh, that's
deciding my
something.
mind, but
Oh,
there
my
was
bad.
no response from inside my house. I couldn't judge immediately, since he usually slept in the room during the daytime on weekends. So I pressed it 3 more times and a little relieved that no one came out. I was sure that no one was at home. However, I was more careful because I felt guilty for no reason when I did any bad thing. He might pretend he's not home knowing I'm the one pressing the button. I went back to the apartment, checking the balcony of the apartment, and even asked the security office. But my doubts didn't go away. In the end, there was only one way left:
Oh,
to call home. Fortunately, our phone didn't show the phone number at the
oh,
time.
nah.
So I decided to make a phone call.
It's gonna be some
Just
like,
as I
creepy
tried
ideas,
to
isn't
put
it?
the phone down after hearing 5 times of phone signals, someone answered the phone. I was so surprised that I hung up right
Oh.
away. However, I called one more time because it was too cold outside and I wanted to play on a computer at my cozy home. Again, someone answered the phone, and this time I could hear a breathing sound over the phone. I thought it was the sound of my dad's breath because I remembered he caught a cold at that time. and I could not
It's
stay
cold,
out
you
any
wouldn't be
longer.
breathing heavy. I guess you probably
So
would,
I ended
but...
up entering the apartment with a ridiculous excuse that the academy ended early. However, I couldn't sense any presence of people as soon as I came inside. Dad? You not here?
Oh no.
I was glad that I wasn't scolded.
Oh no!
But first of all, I checked some stuff.
I was gonna
just in
say, he's
case.
behind the door, isn't he?
How dry the toilet water is, how warm the TV setup box is, or how warm the bed is, etc. And it was concluded that there was no one at home for about 3 hours. In the midst of joy about his absence, I suddenly felt chilled and got goosebumps. Then, who answered the phone earlier? Feeling terrified, I looked carefully around the house,
Oh.
but there was no one.
What was the point of that
My
jump
parents,
scare?
who were out, soon returned, and I forgot about it a few moments
You
later.
prick, man!
But now that I think about it, I think maybe there's an intruder inside the house. He might have been hiding somewhere in the house, and he probably sneaked out while I was in the bathroom. If I had encountered him at that time,
Bang
I
on the
might
head.
not have been writing this now.
Oh, look at that one! Nah. Well,
It wasn't that.
that was interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't interesting, but it wasn't that scary. But
Yeah, I know. Oh, look, Buddy Daz Games. Buddy Daz Games, man. Anyway, well, I guess that is the end of this Bado and OKC series. If you want to see Buddy more, if Corona doesn't come back, you know what I mean? I hope it F's off somewhere, you know what I'm saying? But unless it doesn't come back, you'll be seeing more of this Buddy series, fam.
yeah.
And I guess we will see you in a Kadoodle Boodle. Okay, so basically what I do now is I go here,
So yeah, it's
and then
good.
I press stream ending, and then this happens. Pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah.